Wow, it's so lovely. Why don't people from all over LA come down here? I asked. Gangbangers, winos, dirtbags, that's why. You don't get wasps anywhere near a place like this. They're afraid of getting their suits dirty or chipping their nails, laughed Gabby sarcastically. We found a cool spot and sat down. It's not so bad. Just regular people out with their families and friends, and they happen to be Hispanic or black, I exclaimed to Gabby as I gazed around the park in search of monsters. Nah, it's not too bad really. I think it's night time that's the worst. That's when the gangbangers are out and about, answered Gabby as she looked around the park at the normal-looking ethnic people, simply enjoying some leisure time in the park, eating ice cream, feeding the swans, pushing the kids on the swings, all very normal park-like behaviour. Uh-oh, exclaimed Gabby as she glanced worryingly over my shoulder. What? I asked, feeling a sudden drop in my stomach as I automatically turned to see what she was looking at. About 100 feet away were a group of 6 or 7 Hispanic gangbangers, as Gabby called them, and they were heading our way. Shit, exclaimed Gabby nervously as we both instinctively looked from right to left in search of an escape route. Come on, she shouted suddenly, and in a flash she was up and running. Feeling a mixture of fear and the thrill of the chase, in a split second I too was up and running. As we ran, I glanced back to see what the deal was, and sure enough, they were running at full speed behind us. Gabby and I ran at breakneck speed towards Wilshire Boulevard. We reached it in seconds flat and ran towards the first car that we saw, and like two mad escapees from some kind of low-budget horror movie, we waved and shouted for the driver to stop. The suited white guy driving the car looked confused and terrified as we opened the back door and jumped inside. Just drive, we're being chased, yelled Gabby and I. Oh, right, answered the guy in a mild-mannered yet understandably nervous tone. I felt relieved to be in the relative safety of his car, although the fact that he was unable to move very fast because of traffic jams still had me feeling on the edge of my seat, to say the least. Suddenly we were surrounded by crazed gangbangers, shouting and banging angrily on the car windows. They want to come home with us or what? I exclaimed jokingly, while feeling scared and confused at the same time. I mean, what do they want from us? This is mad, I carried on, as my stomach tightened into a knot and my heart beat faster. Just go, yelled Gabby, as the gang members outside ran round the car hysterically. I noticed a couple of them say a few words to each other in Spanish before 4 of them ran off and the others stayed running around the car. Shit, I bet those guys have gone to get a car, exclaimed Gabby anxiously. I could feel my fear start to turn to anger, and I felt like jumping out of the car and laying into the 2 pillocks outside. How the F would they like to be terrorized, I exclaimed, as I felt the adrenaline pumping in my veins and my blood start to boil. Della, stay in the car, calm down, we'll get out of here, we just have to floor it, shouted Gabby as if sensing my next move. F off, morons, I yelled at the gang members running alongside of the car. One of them shouted something back at me, and as I looked at their frustrated, stressed-out faces, they suddenly reminded me of 2 crazed baboons, and the absurdity of the situation hit me. I burst into laughter and started pulling faces at them. This seemed to shock them, and their reaction was one of puzzlement and confusion. I continued pulling funny faces at them as Gabby carried on instructing the driver to drive faster. This he did as best he could, speeding up at every chance he got, only to be held up again at each set of red lights and traffic jams. Oh, shit, exclaimed Gabby suddenly, so I glanced to see what she was shitting at now. I saw a huge black car slowing down next to us. Great, now we got a car chase, exclaimed Gabby, sounding stressed, as the 2 running guys ran and jumped in the car. The next 10 minutes or so were spent feeling as though we'd all been sucked into the TV set during a Starsky and Hutch show, as our chasers repeatedly bumped into our car from the back and then went on to ram the car from every angle possible, including massive side swipes that I thought only happened in films. What the heck do these guys want from us? This is mad, I exclaimed in total disbelief that this attack was going on in broad daylight on Wilshire Boulevard, a busy LA street, for all to see. Shit, keep low, I think they got guns, screeched Gabby, as me and the driver automatically ducked our heads down. My heart started to beat madly at the seriousness of the situation, but despite the knot in my stomach and the fear in my chest, I couldn't resist peeping over the top of the car seat to see exactly where they were and try and gauge what they were up to. This felt safer than ducking down into a tiny ball of fear while praying not to die. I peeped my head up high enough above the car seat to clock the gang members and saw them staring intensely at us. Defiantly, I stared back at them. The driver stared back at me as if trying to figure out why I was staring at him. Suddenly, he swung off to the right and screeched off down a side street. Oh, where'd they go? Oh my God, take a left down to Santa Monica and park up somewhere, yelled Gabby. The driver obeyed and swung left. He drove at full speed down to Santa Monica Boulevard, where he swung right, drove for a few minutes, then swung right again into a busy Taco Bell parking lot. He parked up between a bunch of cars. My God, thank you so much, we're so sorry, that must have been terrifying for you, gushed Gabby and I. It's okay, it's one of those things, answered the driver as he sat wiping his brow with his hanky. So, how did you girls end up being chased like that? What did you do? He asked, sounding confused. Nothing. We were just at MacArthur Park sitting on the grass, and they started heading our way, so we ran and they chased after us, I answered, wanting to make it clear that we'd done nothing wrong. They're all effing psycho drugged up dirtbags, that's what. Shit, man, they could have shot us, exclaimed Gabby, sounding upset. Well, thank God we're all okay, answered the man calmly. We all sat in silence for a few moments as if processing what had happened to us. Want to go get a Coke? Asked Gabby, suddenly sounding more relaxed than she had been. Yeah, okay, I could do with a bit of a chill out, I joked.